Hello, listeners, and welcome to Still Not Famous. This is episode 5 entitled We Don't Have to Take Our Clothes Off. Uh, in this episode, we'll be diving into fashion of all things, and I am your host, Josh, and I'm joined by my co host, who is always in vogue, Nathan.
Oh, thanks, Josh. And do you know what? You can leave your hat on.
Love it. That wasn't actually going to be the entrance line I was going to use for you. Do you want to know what the actual other backup option was?
I don't know if I want to, do I? Do I dare? Go on.
I was going to say she's in fashion. It's Nathan, quoting the Spandau Ballet song.
Oh, I like that, yeah. Is that Spandau Ballet? Yeah. Oh, yeah, it is, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, it was.
Okay. Well, I've heard the first one, I must admit.
I knew you would.
I'm
So,
always in vogue.
so to go back to our title, we don't have to take our clothes off. I mean,
Yeah.
much to the happiness or disappointment of our viewers, this is not us announcing an OnlyFans collaboration. Uh,
Not yet, anyway.
I think if we did, it would be the only OnlyFans collaboration in history with zero views. Not even we would watch it.
Uh,
Not
yeah,
even the
that's
people who
true.
quality control the videos on OnlyFans would watch it. They'd be like, no thanks.
It would be banned before it started.
Do
It's blacklisted.
you know what? Blind people would watch it and be like, I feel ripped off. But OnlyFans talk aside, we are here
Yeah.
to talk about fashion. Now, before we dive into this, I actually was speaking with my husband earlier, and he went, "Oh, what episode are you recording?" And I was like, "Oh, we're going to do a fashion one." And he looked at me and he went, "Are you talking about how you have none?" Meaning my fashion sense. And I was like, "Yeah, maybe." But
Oh,
also, he got me a Pikachu hat for Valentine's Day not too long ago. I'll have to send you a photo of it, Nath. In fact, know what? I did send you a photo of it, didn't I?
I think you
Uh,
did. Yeah.
yeah, and I
Yeah,
wore
yeah.
it. I got back from the gym about a month or two back and had a shower, and then my hair was too wet, and I had to go to my dad's, so I whacked it on and turned up to family breakfast. And my sister was like, "Oh, like that's nice. What is it?" And I was like, "Oh, like it's a Pikachu hat Dan got me for Valentine's." And she went, "Oh," and then she went, "Are you having a mental health crisis?" And it was like, "No, I just wore it because it looked cute." I thought,
When you were telling that story, I just got visions. You've literally just got the hat on, and then that would look like you're having a mental breakdown.
it definitely would. I mean, I'd like to
Yeah.
think like my husband wouldn't let me leave the house like that, but who knows? Well, I'm not going to test the theory because I'm not going to turn up to my dad's house looking like that. So I'll leave it to your imagination.
I don't know. I've left many a house looking like that before, especially in the 90s, inebriated in the early hours of the morning.
Well, going back to the 90s, what would you
Mm.
say your sense of fashion was
Oh my
back then?
gosh.
I mean,
Um,
I can tell you mine when I was growing up, and that's I had none, and that's literally what I've written in my notes. But what was yours?
oh wow. I don't know. There were a couple of styles throughout the 90s, so like the early 90s. Um, yeah, I don't know. I think I was wearing kind of equivalent of the kind of fracky hoodie type. Well, I don't know if we had a hoodies. It's not early 90s. It was like a lot of the tracksuits. Might still been wearing the shell suits, picking over from the 80s, in the early 90s. But as the 90s, I don't know, early mid 90s, I started. But I've told you before, and I've spoke about on here. Obviously, I was influenced a lot by the bands and the grunge scene. So I was wearing a lot of ripped jeans and shorts and flannel t-shirts, um, Doc Martens, Converse. I had long hair. Um, I was just a real grunger. Grebo, we called it round here. I think we were called Grebos.
Rebo
Um,
is a name I have not heard in a long time.
yeah, I don't know if it's just our area, Northamptonshire, or if it was around the country. But yeah, Grebo. Um, but then as the 90s and I was in other bands. I started playing in bands that were you kind of Rage Against the Machines and you know, skatey, metally, punk rocky. So it was a lot of skate vibe I had, you know, baggy jeans and skate t-shirt, baseball cap.
You say
Uh,
Rage Against the Machine. If your clothes were
mm.
dirty, was the machine you were raging against the washing machine?
That was my hair. Never washed my hair, just still long, dirty, and greasy. I do remember a particular time though. I reckon it had been about 93. I don't know how old I was, but me and a friend of mine, Miles, we were listening to The Cure at the time, and we knew people, we knew acquaintances that would actually, you know, dress because a lot of you dress like your idols, like I just said. You know, I dressed like the grungy Seattle scene, you know. But anyway, we went through this little phase where we just went, oh, do you know what? We had these skin tight jeans on, big trainers, baggy jumper, and we backcombed our hair and sprayed like lacquered it. You ever seen The Cure? Like back in
Yes,
the
I
early,
have,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I don't think we put the lipstick on. I'm sure we didn't. Um,
Are you sure?
I don't know.
It's a
I
very
don't
liberal.
think.
It's a very liberal podcast. You can be honest.
Yeah, no. You know me. I'd say if I did, I can't remember if we did. I don't think we did, but we lacquered the hair back, um, and then we went off and off. Walked through the park, and we were getting called everything, puffs and Grebos, puffs. I think it was only about 14, 15. But that didn't last long. That look, like I say, I went back to flannel t-shirts and yeah, um, yeah, it was yeah that was yeah. Going back to what you said, that was me through the 90s. So, like I say, that little stint of The Cure, gothy, lasted all of one day because I couldn't take the abuse. Um, and that was from my mum. Um, and and then yeah, and then like I say, it was the sort of grungy look up until sort of mid 90s, and then like I said, I was playing in a like kind of rap metal alternative thing, and yeah, it was baseball caps, t-shirts, um, yeah, Vans trainers, Vans t-shirts. That was my look, I suppose, up until pretty much the late 90s. And then kind of carried it on a little bit into the 2000s, I suppose. But
You didn't try and
now I
dress
just,
up as like Salt and Pepper, the old white rapper look.
I'll tell you what, it's funny you say that. Not Salt and Pepper, but another friend of mine, John, I think we were about 13. In the same part where we grew up, where a few years later walked through with this other friend looking like Robert Smith, um, you know, bastard offspring. Um, me and my other friend John, when was it? I'll tell you what, it must have been about 91, 92. We put our clothes on backwards, you know, like crisscross. Do you remember them? You
I
probably won't
know
know them.
of Crisscross, but I wouldn't be able
Yeah,
to tell you what they look like off the top of my head.
no, yeah. So they were young rapper kids from America, and their gimmick was that they'd have the jeans and the shirt on backwards. Um, and yeah, we did it. We walked through the same park, and instead of getting called Grebos and Puffs, I think we were called knobheads and um, twats. I don't know what we were called, but again, that look didn't last very long either. So,
You know what? It dawned on me. I said the white rapper look and Salt and Pepper. I didn't mean Salt and Pepper. I meant Vanilla Ice. Do you remember Vanilla Ice? Vanilla Ice?
I did, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I do remember Vanilla Ice. Yeah, it didn't have that look, but actually, yeah, that probably early 90s. That would have been the turn of the 90s. That would have been what, um, yeah, I'm not saying I didn't have like a high top haircut or anything, but yeah, probably that kind of look, uh, um, that fashion sense. Not that it was carried it off very well.
I'm sure you would have carried it off just fine,
Yeah,
minus the
Kappa
bullying you
slapper.
received. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, you see,
yeah.
your answer is quite different to mine because I didn't really have a distinct style when I grew up. Again, you've seen me, so I have like very kind of like skinny arms and whatnot. I was very like cover up and wear what everyone else was wearing, so hoodies and whatnot. That didn't maybe not necessarily suited me at the time. I kind of just wanted to blend in, and as a result,
Yeah.
I didn't really have a personal style. I, I suppose my personal style would be: here's a hoodie that doesn't suit you, here's a pair of jeans, enjoy.
Yeah.
I was never like a grab or a grebo or anything, but I'm fairly certain even you would have bullied me. So,
I wouldn't have bullied you. I might have done if I'd seen you wearing your sequins and
if I look back at how I dress now, so you're talking about like the flannel and the Vans, that's very much the style I have at the moment. I'm very much going through a flannel shirt kind of phase, where flannel
I know
shirt.
I have noticed lately. I didn't know if you've been sort of rooting through me drawers.
No, I'm very much that kind of person. I'm not sure if you're the same, where I'm like, I like this. I'm going to take this in a few different colours. So I saw the yellow flannel shirt and I was like, okay, so I want that in white and I want that in purple and I want that in orange. So I suppose I have the same shirt just in many different colours. And it will be, at the moment, it will be flannel shirt and then either a white shirt or a black shirt, depending on the trousers I'm wearing. And then I don't have the Vans yet, but they're coming. I've just got to wait to get paid.
I was hoping you were going to tell me when you were growing up you sort of embraced the Liberace look, kind of like
No, that would have got me more bullied, I'm afraid. I mean, I used to have long hair back when I was in my teens, but I didn't really know how to
oh
maintain it.
really? How long was it?
Like to my shoulders. So I
As
probably
long?
looked like I could have been a member of one of your bands. Uh,
Oh really?
but
I
my
don't know if you'd have
sister,
been cool enough, Josh. You might have been one of the roadies.
I might have been one of the Grebos who took the mick out of in the park. But yeah, even though I had the long hair, I didn't dress like gothily or anything. I
No.
would wear like dark colours, but I wouldn't say I was like goth. Didn't do like my nails or anything. Didn't like do any pagan rituals and whatnot. And
Was it? It would have been emo, wouldn't it? It was emo like your
emo kind of
youth
was around the time I was
rock
growing up. So you
music
had
was.
bands like My Chemical Romance, Paramore.
Yeah.
But again, my style, you wouldn't look at it and it wouldn't scream emo. I was just like, there? That's the best way to
Yeah.
describe it. But my sister dug out a photo of me with my long hair and how I dressed a few months back. And she said very delicately to my family, I look like someone who would have been involved in a school shooting. And do you know what the worst part was? I looked at
No.
this photo and I couldn't disagree.
No. Oh wow. Uh, you couldn't shoot anyone.
No, mainly
Or
because of
could
my
you?
aim, but
What do you say? Because of your aim?
because of my aim. Yeah.
You're like a stormtrooper.
I guess. I feel
Yeah.
like as I've gotten older, I've cared more about necessarily I wear, but not known what my style is. I think maybe this flannel shirt is my current style. But when did you kind of realize that fashion wasn't about just what you wear, but about essentially embracing a character? And what I mean by that is you kind of touched upon it briefly, but like when you picture outfits and whatnot, did you feel like you were that archetype when you put your little Grebo outfit on? Were you like,
Mm.
yes, I am a Grebo, or were you just like, oh, I just wear what I wear?
No, yeah, I think you're right. I think I still am like that now because uh, if I get involved in any music and it comes to performing, I'll kind of think about what I'm going to wear. Not, I don't overthink it, but there's a sense of you want to feel like you're looking cool. But then even in just my every day, a lot of it will just be comfy. But um, but even like again, like we've spoke about before, we've worked together, haven't we? So depending on what environment I'm in, I'll try and make an effort. So I'm not saying I was smartly dressed when we worked together in an office, but I'm definitely a lot smarter than I would be, um, kicking about the house or going out. I definitely I don't think about it when I go out in the evening, though. Do you know what I mean? I don't think, right, I'm going to put this nice new shirt on, or I'll literally wear the same clothes till they're hanging off me,
Yeah,
or
same.
falling apart, or I buy even new clothes. I'm not really bothered about labels or stuff. But saying that, I do like Ted Baker stuff. Don't wear it very often, but when I do, can't afford it, so I buy it off Vinted, which is quite good.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
I
Vinted.
suppose, like, back from when I was growing up, when I think back at fashion trends, you very first one I can think of is if you were someone who had the smallest hint of Burberry, it was like chav,
Mm,
like straight away.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
or I remember another one being when you had sweatpants and it'd have the word like juicy on them that were made famous by like people like Jennifer Lopez, where you had kind of like glam exercise wear or glam casual wear. Do you get what I'm saying?
Mm. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I remember. Yeah, I mean, like you say, the Burberry. Like you say, it definitely recognised with the. Again, I hate the label chav, but
Yeah,
for me as well, I remember it Burberry and is it Stone Island, them being really popular with the football firms. Um, don't want to use the word hooligan because but they call themselves football firms, but it's like they're unicorns to go into battle. Um,
I agree. It
which
was always
which I
kind of
find, I was going to say, which I find really weird because it's expensive clothes, and yet they're going to go and have a dust up and get all blood and ripped up and or shanked, as they say in prison. But yeah, sorry, cut you off.
no, sorry, I accidentally cut over you. Yeah, I
Mm,
agree. It was very definitely used in a derogatory way. Like no
mm,
one said chav like it was yay, it was a good thing, it was endearing. It was like ugh, chav. But the ironic
mm,
part is like people would say Burberry and chav and whatnot, but then you get people like Kate Moss wearing it. So
yeah,
like you have someone who's really fashionable wearing it and it being in vogue, but then it also being double layered, and someone who was not rich or famous wearing it, it'd be a derogatory kind of almost status symbol. Uh,
yeah, yeah. I
bit
think
like,
as well. I mean, going back to the 90s, unless I completely missed something, there wasn't many um, factions in fashion. Like I said, you had your sort of a lot of it was majority defied you what music you listened to. So again, if you was into sort of rock and grunge and metal, then or like you said, the goth, everybody being black, or if it was the hip hop sort of thing you was in, it'd be that. And then anything else was, I don't know. I mean, I suppose it's like probably it was just ordinary. Um, Whereas nowadays, I think there's more different genres and styles, isn't there? Because there's so many different. Um, you see youngsters walking around, what they call them roadmen. So they've all got their hoods up and the trackies and the face covered, or you still have your goths and your metalers, but of course you got all the um, other um, sort of people wearing, um, I don't know, flamboyant stuff, or I suppose Coachella. That's
yeah,
that's like again. it's this big music festival. And it seems, I mean, I've never been, but looking on the outside, it's more about the fashion than the music. Um,
Oh,
it,
for sure. I mean,
it
Coachella
makes me.
does.
Mm,
Sorry, you go ahead.
I was going to say, it just makes me question those people that are going for the music, But um, it's it ain't like Glastonbury where you literally wear
Strap on your
what you're
wellies.
going to
Yeah.
strap on your wellies and get covered in beer and rain and piss and mud and cheddar. It's all about the Instagram photo, isn't it? And boobs out, and
Exactly. Yeah.
you know,
Boobs out, and
yeah,
that's just me. But
yeah, yes, that's it. Yeah, in your sequins, in your Pikachu hat.
do not slag off the Pikachu hat. I love it. Uh,
Do you have a Pikachu for each boob?
no, but I might do going forward. I feel
Anyway,
like
sorry.
in the 90s, it was very much like, remember, like, I'm not sure if it's as popular now or if I just don't run into a lot of people that have it, but it was very kind of like band shirty. Like, you could tell if someone was instantly like a fan of Oasis or
Mm.
like other bands. Like, I'm going to use the Ramones as an example because I
Hmm.
remember once I was in the Hard Rock Cafe with my dad in London. This was a good 15 odd years ago. And he turned and said to me, and he went, "You know what? I never hear of anyone saying they're a fan of the Ramones, but I always see someone in one of these places wearing a Ramones t-shirt." And do you know what? Ever since he said it, whenever I've been in one of those places, without fail, there is normally someone in a Ramones t-shirt.
Oh, wow. Funny you say about the Ramones. I was reading an article today. Their first album is 50 years old.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if it's this week or something. 50 years old. Yeah. But yeah, no, going back to what you're saying, it's true, isn't it? But there's that big thing, isn't there, where I think a lot of youngsters were wearing, um, like you say, a Nirvana shirt or a Ramon shirt, and then, you
Yeah.
know, the sort of arrogant music lovers would get, question them. Oh, name me three songs, and
You know what? That
so
was literally going to be my next point. It
oh, was
was,
it okay?
yeah, yeah, literally, I was going to say there was that culture of, oh, like you wear a band shirt because you like that band, and then you always get that person who's like, if you're such a fan, name me their most like 10 obscure songs, and if you can't name them all, you're not a true fan and you shouldn't be wearing the shirt.
Yeah,
I remember
I
once,
know.
it wasn't someone I saw in real life, but it was something I saw on Reddit of all places where someone was in a Nirvana shirt. I think it was a woman, and
Hmm.
the comments were proper like, "You're wearing this shirt and you don't even know who they are." Blah blah blah. Very gatekeepery. Don't like it.
Oh, there's a lot of it, isn't there? Yeah, it winds me up. I mean, from in my eyes, I think it's great because it's still promoting, great music, great bands, and yeah, it's frightening that people have to um, hit on somebody what they're wearing. Um, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, they're probably the same people that would moan if they put on oh, what are you doing wearing that NSYNC top or
Yeah.
take that? Why don't you wear a Nirvana shirt? No, but yeah, you can't wear a Nirvana shirt. You can't name three songs.
No. Exactly.
Uh, yeah, assholes.
Going back to your comment about Coachella
Mm.
and influencers, do you feel like these days there's a lot of individuality around looks, or do you reckon it's a lot of people trying to look the same?
I think no. I think I don't know if I don't know if they're you know trying to look the same. I think everybody's potentially inspired by the same thing, aren't they? Again, it goes back to my era, probably yours. Um, I think when the fashion sense, again, I'm probably being a little bit sounding old and moany, but when I see um, images and photos from Coachella, and it doesn't look to me like they're at a music festival. It looks more like they're at Ibiza Strip, or you know, um, I just don't get it. But I'm not, I suppose, which is probably really ignorant of me, because again, it goes back to the thing. I suppose if you feel comfortable with what you're wearing, but then you have to ask that question, like you just said, isn't it? Do they feel comfortable, or are they going to get recognised or stand out?
Yeah,
Um, and, and the same can be said about people that you know wear extreme goth type clothes, or but again, so yeah, are they trying to stand out, or is that what they're comfortable with? I just feel like probably people like that are more invested in their image because of the music. Where I think with the, what we call it, the Coachella generation, I think they're more interested in the image than the music. I
yeah,
think that's the difference. That's how I look at it. Um,
yeah. I tend to
Again,
agree. Yeah,
I think we all want to stand out to a
people are
certain
looking
extent.
to craft their own aesthetic and brand, and obviously you can do that not just through how you curate your social media posts, but obviously how you look. So
Yeah, 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 exactly. Going back to what you said, though, I think, yeah, for me, it looks more like it's more about the image than the music. Where I think if you flip it over and then look at, maybe you look at the Glastonbury crowd, it's more about the music than the image. You know?
yeah, to dive it on to potentially starting off light-hearted, but maybe a bit darker ethical implications. But remember when Primark was first a thing, and it was very much
Mm,
like, uh, cheap and cheerful. You buy a t-shirt for like a quid, a couple of quid. You don't cry if you rip it or whatnot. And I remember when they were first a thing, people being like, "Ugh, you get your clothes from Primark? Oh, like you
mm,
went somewhere cheap." Whereas, uh, as kind of late 2000s, early 2010s, it'd be like, "Oh, I love your top," and you'd almost like out of pride be like, "Yeah, it's from Primark." It cost me
yeah.
like 2 quid, and I was kind of almost. I'm not sure if you agree that shift into cheap fashion wasn't kind of as frowned upon. And
Mm,
I feel like in this day and age now, I mean, Primark have forgotten who they are. I went in there the other month, and I remember once getting like two pairs of jeans for like barely a tenner. And I went in there and
mm,
just one pair of jeans was like 15 quid. Now, I know
yeah.
inflation's a thing and whatnot, but I went into Asda and got two pairs of jeans for like the same amount of money. So Primark need to
Mm,
remember who they are, first of all. But you also have the birth of things like Shein and Temu, where it's not, in my eyes, and again, correct me if we move in different circles and you've heard different things, it's not as frowned upon and almost kind of celebrated. Like, yeah, I got like a cheeky little bargain. Like, it cost
mm,
me barely anything from Shein. But unfortunately, that goes hand in hand with it's probably made in a sweatshop by someone, potentially even children,
yeah,
at like a really low amount of money. So
yeah.
my two questions are: one, do you agree that there's kind of been the shift into cheap and cheerful shopping has kind of become more widely accepted compared to like you paid like barely any money for this? And two, what is your ethical opinion on all of this?
Well, I think, like somebody was telling me, we were talking about it in the week actually. We were talking about buying, and somebody at work, where I work now, was saying that she'd sold some clothes through Vinted. And anyway, we were talking about it, and I'm sure she said apparently, but I'd need to. I'm only going off what she said, but something like we spend something like 2 billion on clothes a year, as general consumer public and whatever. And I can believe that, because the amount of, like you say, when you go into, retail park or a city centre or whatever, into a Primark, H&M, any of these, high street stores, they're always full. They're never empty, are they? People are always having things off the
Yeah.
off the shelves and whatever, and of course them. But like people, again, not everybody, but it seems like people buy clothes, wear it once, and then just sell it on or whatever. I just find it really weird. I mean, going back to, again, when I was saying in the 90s, the lot of the, especially my sort of grungy, the best place to go was charity shop. Everybody was going to the charity shop. Again, more for the image. It was cheap, not much cheaper, but it was cheap. But you'd get some classic, I don't know, 60s or 70s looking shirt or jeans or suit or whatever, and that's what everybody used to do. And I mean, I don't know if some of the youth do that today, but yeah, sorry, going back to what you were saying, sweatshops and stuff like that. I don't know if I ever told you a story, but I think it was 99, and I was down south working briefly for a firm that sold kind of surfy skate gear,
Okay.
and I would go to festivals and sell the stuff at music festivals. We'd set up a stall and sell it. And I remember, I think, top of my head, like these cargo combat-y type trousers. They had them in black and beige and probably another colour, I can't remember. They were selling for like 25 quid. And I'm talking 2000, 99, year 99, 2000. But I knew for a fact he was getting them all made in Nepal for about 50p or £1.50. So, you know what I'm like. I was working, but I was also enjoying myself, getting inebriated. And
Shock.
people would haggle with me and go, "How much are they?" And I go, 25 quid. Well, if I give you this or a little bit of weed or whatever, and go, yeah, all right. So I used to have a really good time, but I gave away a lot of clothes. But I knew it cost sod all to make, so win-win for me, eh?
It is a very tough one of things are expensive enough in this day and age. So we're obviously looking for a bargain where we can. But obviously, you kind of have to almost stomach of this probably wasn't ethically made. And the amount I'm paying, the person who made it is probably seeing a fraction. And it is quite a hard pill to swallow. And it's one I don't really have an answer to, in all honesty. As much as I'd love to sit here and say, oh, I would never shop at those places. Sometimes, like, you know, your clothes are damaged, you need new clothes, and you can't afford to fork out for a whole new wardrobe from like House of Fraser or something. So it is a very tough one. Have you ever seen that meme where it's like a child making something in a sweatshop, and the tagline is, uh, "This child making this sweatshirt that says end child poverty to be sold in like Primark or something, or end
I've
child
heard that. I
slavery."
see that.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, it's a weird industry, isn't it? The fashion industry. It's
it
another.
is, and it's also very cyclical. So at the start of this podcast episode, you were talking about flannel and Vans and how you wore in that back in the day. That's the style I'm probably going to emulate now. So
Yeah. Well, there's nothing wrong with it. Can you name me 3 songs?
3 songs by who?
The Flannel Gang.
There's The Flannel. There's
Yeah, classic.
there's Mr. Flannelside. And then
Yeah.
there's
I know.
Hey Flannel. That guy, that's 3.
That's okay. I know. I think I've heard them.
Yeah.
I think I've heard them.
And then there's the Flannel Song, the remix.
Can you name 3 Nirvana songs, though? Let's put you on the spot.
Oh, so you have Come As You Are, you have Smells Like Teen Spirit, and you have Something in the Way.
Oh, very good.
I'm very glad you said 3 because I think they're the only 3 I know.
Okay.
And that's because
What
they've all
album?
been used in
What was the name of the album that they were on?
Nevermind. Did I nail it?
You nailed it. Well done, you.
Oh, my dad's going to be pleased with me.
He'll be even more pleased if you can name 3 Ramones songs.
That I can't do. I can tell you the Ramones exist as a band, and that's literally where it ends.
Okay, let you off.
Supposed to move on from our kind of
Mm.
slightly dark ethical consumption topic and to move this back to something a bit more light-hearted.
Mm.
You talked about at the start of the conversation about how you had different phases where you looked gothy, you looked grebo-y. Was there any particular fashion disaster where you look back, you think above all other things I've worn or all other phases I went to, this is the one where I look back and you think I had no business wearing this. Why did I wear this?
The only one that comes to mind is when I went through a phase of watching The Sound of Music and spent a short period wearing Lederhosen.
No. Are you dead serious?
Wouldn't it be funny if that was true?
Oh, I thought it was true.
I could have the little green hat and everything.
I was going to ask you to send me a photo so I could put it on our Instagram page.
On our OnlyFans.
God. Oh, I was so hoping that story was true.
Ah, yeah, maybe. I might see if I can do it. I went recently to, well, I say recently, it was last Halloween. Went to a Halloween party round our good friend Debbie's house. And funny enough, it's Nirvana again. My other friend, he wanted to go as like the ghost Dead Kurt Cobain with the iconic stripy green jumper on from the Teen Spirit video. And he bought me a wig and a black mini cheerleader dress with pom-pom. And if I show you the photo, and
what are you wearing this cheerleader outfit?
Yeah, of course I had like a zombie face on, but yeah, that was interesting.
No, I've never seen this photo. I'd love to see it though.
No, there's been a few times I've wore dresses and things for show.
For show, or because you secretly enjoyed it? Again, no judgment. We're a liberal podcast.
I secretly enjoy it as well, but no, I don't walk around the house in brassieres.
I like think you dress like Freddie Mercury in the "I Want to Break Free" video.
Yeah, it'd be quite cool.
Updo and mustache and all.
Yeah. What would your I don't know if you could pick an image to rock for a week.
If I could pick an image to rock for a week. It's a tough one. I don't think I have a particular go-to be honest. I think I always look nice in a suit. Like back when I was younger, which unfortunately was many moons ago now, there weren't that kind of style of clothes where you could be like skinny fit per se. So everything I wore was quite bulky. And also because I wanted to hide my skeleton-looking arms. And then not only that, but I didn't want to draw attention to myself, so I wore a lot of kind of dark colours. Whereas now, I'm trying to put more colour into my life, hence the flannel shirt. But I always think I look good in a suit, and it's something my family always tell me a nice little skinny fit suit. My favorite outfit I have is one I wore to my sister's wedding and also a wedding that me and my partner attended, a member of his family. It's this nice
Mm.
brown neck suit and it fits just right. And it has this
No,
really
no.
nice waistcoat to it that's double buttoned. So I would like to rock like an actual proper expensive suit where you look at it and you're like, ooh, that's nice. You can tell that was pricey.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, cool. Yeah.
Or I'd just
What,
like to
any
look like, or I'd
particular?
just like to look like Jonathan Bailey wearing anything because Jonathan Bailey looks good in whatever he wears.
Who's Jonathan Bailey?
He is in quite a few things. So he's in Bridgerton. He's also in the latest Jurassic World film. He's the nerdy guy who has the slightly little nerd glasses.
Ah, we did talk about him, didn't we? Yeah.
Yeah,
Is he in
where there's
Bridgerton as well?
yeah he is. Yeah, he's one of the Bridgerton brothers. His
Oh,
Bridgerton season where the main focus is season two. Uh,
oh, okay.
but essentially, I was watching him in the latest Jurassic World film, like, and he was like wading through like swamp water at one point, and it was like, I know you're attractive when you're wading through swamp water, and you still look like fine. So I think as well, it's just having the a lot of what sells a garment is the
Yeah,
confidence. So
yeah,
yeah, just to be
yeah. I
confident and look
think,
good in whatever I wear is the aim.
yeah, well, this is, yeah, you can't go wrong, can you? Yeah. I like a good suit, but
I've
like you're
seen you
saying,
do waistcoats at work whenever we used to have uh, visitors back when we worked together, and you always looked good.
yeah, I like a good waistcoat. I think it makes you look distinguished.
Agreed.
Yeah, yeah.
Before we sign off on this podcast, any closing statements in terms of fashion? Any advice you'd like to give to our fellow listeners?
Um, yeah, maybe just stay away from Pikachu hats because they make you look a bit silly. But oh no, hang on, no, sorry. Uh,
I love you, but sometimes you're an asshole.
I'm sure. Well, I've seen the photo, and you know, you do carry it off.
You're just saying that. But do you know what? Sometimes soothing lies are all I need.
Soothing. What did you say? I thought you said saving lives. I thought I
No,
don't save
soothing lies. Not
lives.
saving lives in that Pikachu hat, I'm afraid.
You never know. You never know. Yeah, yeah.
No, I think the only advice I'd give is if all of your clothing is dark, do what I do and actually try and throw a bit of colour into it. Be
Yeah,
be bright in a world that's very dark at the moment, is my advice.
that, yeah, it's good. That's a good one. Yeah, just yeah, going vibrant.
But yes, I
Yeah,
think we will leave that one there. So,
yeah.
first of all, mate, thank you for joining me, as always.
Oh no, been pleasure. Enjoyed it. Yeah, been brilliant.
Uh, what I will say is if anyone wants to follow us, we have an Instagram. Our handle is at Still Not Famous Pod. We also have a TikTok channel, which is of the same name. You can also like and subscribe to us on Spotify and YouTube. We also have a Facebook page, Still Not Famous. You can leave us a like, a nice comment. You can even leave a nasty comment, but as I always tend to say, just be wary. My mum will be checking the comments and she's not afraid to fight
Mm.
people, to be honest. So,
We've also
yes,
got some nice merchandise, flannel shirts.
I'm getting rid of my flannel shirts.
That's the only one we got.
Why don't you sell your little Grebo outfits?
Sell me mini dress.
But yes, whatever time of day you're listening to, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. And we
Good
look
night.
forward to speaking to you guys soon.
Yeah, see you all soon.
See you
Thanks.
soon. Goodbye.
Ta-da, bye.